Hi everybody, this is Raunwynn from SureYouCan.com, and this is my first to 10 contest with FoutsKazuya's Vega. I'm pretty close to being done. Vega was one of the last characters that I needed to do before Super, and DC Hustle told me that he knew a really good Vega in FoutsKazuya. So I played a few casuals to make sure that our connection was decent and that we could get some good games in, and we went 5 and 5. So this is a pretty close match in terms of skill. We both play at kind of the same level, so this is kind of an interesting one. I very rarely get to play against a good player who uses Vega, so it's difficult for me to say, oh, you should do this against Vega or you shouldn't, because I really don't know how to play against Vega. But there are a few things that I do that I think are effective. One is high counter in general is very good against Vega because he likes to poke at you from long range with crouching medium punch and jump in with his hard kick. Kazuya baits those pretty well over this set, but they're still very effective, like right there. It's just a good technique that you can go to randomly against him. There are a couple of things that are good to practice against Vega, and one is defending against his down forward plus hard kick plus and then throw option. Vega really likes to hit down forward hard kick as a poke. Right there, he does it and then throws me. I didn't block it, but you can see that it just sets him up to get his really good throw. And Vega's got great throws. So if you ever block that down forward plus hard kick, it puts him at -1 frames, which is kind of it doesn't mean he's really at a disadvantage. I mean, he just struck you, and it's very hard to do anything other than tech or jump out of his throw at that point, as Goken anyway. There he gets his Barcelona drop on me, or Izuna drop. Vega's throw is a killer air to ground throw because it can get you in the air or get you on the ground. It's the best air to ground throw, I think. Like with Gokens, you can't get them if they're in the air. With Camis, you can't get them if they duck. With Vega, you can get them no matter what. But from what I understand, the timing is kind of difficult. Anyway, that's another thing you want to be careful of. When Vega goes off the wall, usually what I try to do is walk toward him and then crouching hard punch when he gets near me. Like right there, I did it. That seems to work pretty well. But of course, Vega can change that whole thing up. As soon as he goes off the wall, he's mixing you up. So you probably want to jump up and meet him sometimes, walk toward him and crouching hard punch sometimes, counter sometimes, because he's not always going to be able to get the throw. A lot of times he'll get the slash. But those are some things. I think that's the most challenging part of the Vega matchup for me is the Izuna drop. Now right here, I counter that EX wall jump. EX wall jump with Vega is very surprising, as it's so fast. Often through this match, I'll be walking backwards and I want to try and bait him into doing something. So I'll tap forward for just a tiny fraction of a second and then go back into walking backwards, right? And FoutsKazuya will hit me with that EX wall jump. Not on reaction, of course. He was going to do it anyway because it's a very safe move to do. But I'll get tagged just from that millisecond that I'm pressing forward. Very surprising move. But if you're throwing out random counters, a lot of times you catch it. It does not escape the explosion from Kongoshin. So another good thing about throwing out random counters against Vega. There, high counter gets the roll on wake up. So you don't tend to use low counter very much against Vega at all, unless you can see him specifically trying to mix up your counter by going low. I usually don't low counter against Vega that often. At the opening of this round, I jump up and hit him with hard punch. Jumping hard punch isn't that great against Vega because his jump is so high. He's kind of like Chun-Li. So jumping medium punch and jumping hard kick are better against him in air-to-air. I've got hard punch so hardwired into my playstyle that it's difficult for me to go to those other two moves. But this is one of those fights where jumping hard punch is outshined by jumping medium punch and jumping hard kick. I'm in a pretty tough spot here, but you can see I was winding up Ultra and hoping that he'd go off the wall, and then he did. Winding up a couple of quarter circle forwards, and then waiting to see if he tries to come in on the wall, off the wall at you like that. You can Ultra him on reaction, so you keep that in mind. I try it later on, and I'm too slow, and he gets past me. But that is something that you can do against Vega as well. This is interesting. Fouts does this to me several times. He waits for me to wake up with EX Demon Flip and jumps up and throws me. Good Vegas do tend to watch and see what you do and then counter poke you or jump up and hit you, stuff like that. Vega plays really well that way. So getting too aggressive and just throwing stuff out all over the place a lot of times will get you stabbed. Oh, I hate it when somebody does this to me. Watch him just neutral jump harass me right in my face. I've seen a lot of players do that, and my answers to it are pretty weak. Every once in a while I can force myself to counter in that situation, but counter's not even that good, I mean, when you think about it. So that's something that Vega does here that reminds me of a weakness that I have against pretty much everybody. It's just spamming neutral jump in my face.
Are you ready? Fight!
Here on Wake Up, Vega backdashes. Fouts told me that Vega has the second best backdash in the game, right behind Chun-Li, and he backdashes a lot on Wake Up. Also, I spoke with him for a while after our set, and he told me that I was asking him about Vega's Wake Up game, and he is pretty easy to pressure on Wake Up. He's either going to backdash or backflip on his Wake Up, and those are things you want to practice punishing. Practice punishing backdashes, practice punishing Vega's two different backflips. He's got the short one and the long one. If you get used to punishing those and used to the timing where you can hit them, the timing is pretty strict where you can hit those backflip moves. But if you get used to that, then that'll be another strong tool that you have in this matchup.